Alright guys, I'm not going to be doing any charts today. I've got other things that I need to talk to you about and show you. I'm actually going to post this video on my Joshua Thompson's Rants channel. It's the other channel that I have, which is mostly about, prepping, getting ready, getting yourself prepared, and then some space weather stuff, weather, all that kind of general stuff. It has more of my opinions in it than what this does. I try to be fact-based on this channel. So the first thing is that I want to show you. Remember how we talked about how there's railroad unions that are going to be striking? Just look at this and take in mind as well. Drudge Report typically leans left. They're not reporting anything new today except for what they had already reported, that the rail unions have struck a tentative deal with the White House averting a strike. Well, I'm coming here today to tell you that's not true. You have been bamboozled, lied to, destroyed with their lies. Actually, what actually happened is one of the railway unions voted today to strike. And previously they were supposed to start the strike today on the 16th. But that has now been pushed back to the 29th to allow the other unions to get their votes in. And there's two other unions that the White House said they agreed to the deal tentatively. They haven't even voted yet, so we don't even know what they're going to do. I do know the ones that voted to strike. It's a little less than 5,000 people, 5,000 workers that voted to strike. Now, there's things that the government can do and Congress can do to stop them from going on strike, but we're just going to see how this plays out. This is a developing situation. You're not going to find a lot of mainstream news articles reporting on this right now. It's kind of like a boots on the ground situation. You got to get the information from wherever you can at this moment in time. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. This is getting to that moment. Now, I tweeted out on my Twitter of how deep we are inverted in the yield curve. And let me just pull that up. I want you guys to see this. This stuff is starting to get pretty important. Okay. So, the 1-year yield is at 4%. The 20, which is usually higher than everything, including the 30 most of the time, is because it's very, 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 very liquid in the 20. But even the 20 is lower than the 3, the 2, the 1, the 6. Guys, I can't stress enough how ridiculous this is. Let me pull up this chart. Let's just go ahead and see if I can do this live with you guys. 10-year constant -2. All right, now let's pull this chart back so you can see this. This right now is the deepest yield curve inversion that we've had since 2000. 2000 was negative 0.45. Right now we are currently at -4. And I see no reason why it's not going to get deeper. This is just a very, very strong signal that we're going into a recession. Look at this chart again. Yield curve inverts, right? It inverts here, starts to invert here, goes even deeper. Recession, yield curve, inverts, recession. Inverts, recession, inverts, recession, inverts, recession. Tiny, tiny, tiny inversion here in 2019. Brief recession in 2020. Now we are going for the real deal. The Big Lebowski, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. We are here. This is serious. And I've tried to tell you guys how important it is that you understand. If you follow the money, then it tells you the future. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, what events are going to happen. All I know is that events are going to happen. Something's going to happen. I can't be for sure what it is. I've made some predictions. I put most of them out on my Rants channel. I've put some here. But something is coming, and it's not going to be good. And remember when I told you that it was my belief that central bank digital currencies, FedCoin, was going to be mandatory in 2024? Let's check this out. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is from an official source, the whitehouse.gov. Fact sheet. White House releases first ever comprehensive framework for responsible development of digital assets. You read through most of this garbage. It also brings up FedNow and how FedNow is going to be stepping in as the middleman in most situations, and they got the SEC and the CFTC all on this, doing reports and all this crap. But you get down here to the bottom, and they come up with all these dumb reasons. Fighting illicit finance. No, what you really mean is that you don't like people doing stuff and you can't see what they're doing. And you do want to go to central bank digital currencies because you want to get away with cash. You just do away with it. No one can transact a single mother penny without you knowing, so you get a cut. Yeah, Lazarus Group. Great name. Here we go. Exploring a U.S. central bank digital currency. A U.S. CBDC, a digital form of the U.S. dollar, has the potential to offer significant benefits. It could enable a payment system that is more efficient, provides a foundation for further technological innovation, facilitates faster cross-border transactions, and is environmentally sustainable. Bullshit. It could promote financial inclusion and equity by all the keywords. All the keywords. By enabling access for a broad set of consumers. In addition, it can foster economic growth and stability to protect cyber and operational risks. Safeguard, safety. Take away my fucking freedom so I can feel safe because I'm a loser idiot. But CBDC could also have unintended consequences, including runs to CBDC in times of stress. And then you can just read through all this garbage. The link is at the top. WhiteHouse.gov, briefing statements. It was released today, September the 16th of 2022. Well, it's here, guys. I told you I was going to let you know. Now, again, we don't exactly know exactly what they plan to do when CBD comes out. So I can't speculate too much on that. I don't want to. I don't want to scare you, but it's presumed there will be controls put in place demanding what you can and cannot do, because it's the only way to stop it from having runaway inflation, since it's going to be a liability of the Fed, and the Fed can print an unlimited amount of liabilities. This is a huge concern to me, but I still don't know how it's going to play out, so it's kind of just a wait and see type thing. But if you read through that garbage White House brief, it actually says in there that they plan on using the I'm just going to say this because I can't remember the words verbatim. The operating system of FedNow, right? FedNow basically comes in, takes control of all the middlemen in the interbank operating system, and that sets the railway, right? Now the Fed has all the rails in the banking system. It controls all those. The only thing it don't control is the banks, but it does to some degree because all those banks are in the Federal Reserve System, so it can just regulate what the banks do. Even credit unions, you can't escape. It's called Schedule D. Have any of you ever heard that before? Do you know? I've talked about it. A lot of people, I'll just go to a credit union. You can't. They're regulated. There's nowhere to go. This is it. It says in this White House brief that they're going to use the FedNow system potentially as a way to interject the central bank digital currencies into our system. This is what, dude, I'm telling you. This is why I said I think it's going to be mandatory by 2024. Because we knew they were going to be rolling all this garbage shit out in 2023. So, we're here. We're here. They're doing this now because they know the crash is coming. They already know it. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows the Fed's they're fixing to hike 0.75 or 1 base. Everyone knows this. And they know what happens when the Fed does this. Everyone knows. Now, they don't know how the system works. They're completely wrong about that. They have no idea how money works. But what they're saying about interest rates going up, crashing the market, killing everything, inverted yield curve, it's true. We're here. So please, for the love of God, get ready in any way you can. If you don't have a lot of money, every time you go to the store, get a couple extra cans of tuna fish. Beans, rice. I mean, it's not expensive for a 20 pound bag of rice. Just anything that you can do. Beg, barter, steal. Just get ready. This is not '08. This is not 2000. This is not the 60s. This is not the 70s. This is now. It will be different. Supply chains are breaking down. And if they're not breaking down, they're about to go on strike. Please get ready. Question. You mentioned that Europe could sell off its U.S. treasuries to have dollars to pay the U.S. oil they are purchasing. But before the crisis, when they bought Russian oil, didn't they have to pay in dollars too? No, they didn't. Most of those contracts they had with Russia, they could pay in U.S. dollars or they could pay in euros. So, yeah, they just paid in euros most of the time, or dollars if they had it, whatever they had that was easily more available. I thought I got rid. Okay, I'll read it because it's a question, and today, quite frankly, I don't care. Wait, we're still making believe elections are real. I mean, look at 2016. There's your example. If you believe that there's some fuckery going on, it can be overran if enough people go in one direction. Question: What loans? When loans are given out like PPP loans and are forgiven, 90% that is reported forgiven, is that printing money or how does that work? Yes, it is printing money. So most of those PPP loans came from credit unions or just regular commercial banks, but it was a way to get the credit unions business during the 2020 scare fiasco. Cough, you get it. It was printing money. It was loans in the traditional sense, so it did print money while also increasing debt. But the way this works is, if 90% of those loans are forgiven, that means the government has to cover that. So the money that the government had previously, quote unquote, printed by getting loans and by selling bonds, they have to take that money, those digital dollars, and pay off all these loans. And what happens when you use digital dollars to pay off loans? The money goes away, right? So the money didn't go away from the companies. The companies got to keep the money, but the government lost the money. And then the 10% that didn't get forgiven, those companies have to pay those loans back. And when they pay those loans back, that money goes away with interest. I do believe there was an interest on that. I got to check. I think it was either low or there was no interest. I can't remember. I'm too worked up today. I'm so tired of this shit. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next one.